Well, we're just getting started here today, and what we're working on right at the present moment is we're working on the very front end of the silage box. Now this one's got a 5-foot cab shield. I just put the front 2 posts in. They're going to be on the very front of the body. Now in the last silage box I had a question, why are your posts on the inside and not on the outside? Well, for one, it leaves a cleaner front end of the body, and you don't have these posts sticking out, and it gives you more room between the box itself and the cab. Now if you had a big old muffler here, it wouldn't much matter because your posts are going to be between the muffler and whatever, and then it wouldn't much matter if the posts were out on the front. But we're going to be able to get this real tight to the cab, and if we have the posts on the other way, it gives us more room on the inside of the body to have the depth that we need, and then it allows us to put the box up closer to the cab so that we don't have as much of an overhang. And all you lose for room here is the area for these posts. These posts are about 6 inches wide. Now I've had some questions, where do you get this post material? This one guy wanted to know, he wanted to get them from his steel supplier. This is 11 gauge material, and it is made out of sheet metal. I have an outfit run these in a press brake, and they make these channels for me. So they are made from sheet metal, formed into the shape that they are. Now I've also had some questions on these tool tray holders that I have on the welders. I have 2 of them. I bought these at the Kentucky National Farm Machinery Equipment, whatever, and I did not pay attention to who I bought them from. I thought there'd be, a brand name, or, wherever they came from, or whoever made them in the box that they came in, but there was no name with them. I bought 2 of them. I would like to buy 2 more, and I've had quite a few viewers ask me what are they. So if any of you have seen these or know about these, I need a brand name. If you could drop that in the comment section there. Nice to keep the crap off the welder, and it's just a nice idea. I hate having stuff on top of the welder. It scratches the top of the welder like you wouldn't believe. That's why I have these covers on there. And this welder is 8 or 10 years old, and look at the top of it. It looks like brand new. This is just I'll need 2 hands to get that back on there. But this is just a goofy fire blanket is all it is. And then we keep the blanket up high enough so the welder can breathe. But if you have a bunch of junk on top of the welder and you need to get inside to either change out a roll of wire or deal with a plug up at the drive wheels, you got to remove everything off the top of the welder, and that just creates a problem. So I need to know what kind of thing those are. We've got one on the 260 welder, and I'd like to get one for the 255 here, and Jared's 255 as well. I kept referring to Jared's welder as a 256. It's not a 256. His is a 255 as well. It's just like that one there. Now on this flatbed here, if you recall in the last video, we ended up getting these sills removed. Sarge and Jason cut them off in there, put them over on the floor, brought the jig in, set the width that they need to be so that we can run this as a slide rail system as well. And I also stated in the last video that we were going to make this flatbed 3 feet longer. So we're going to add on to those main sills. This one we're going to do a little different. The other one we added on to the front of the sills. This one we're going to add on to the back of the sills. And it's not going to, the structural integrity is not going to be compromised at all, because this flatbed is not going to be carrying the weight that silage box is going to be carrying, plus the rail system that's on the truck is going to be absorbing most of the most of the weight and whatever anyways, so it's not going to hurt us, and being that we've got to do all the work out back here. Alright, so the camera just clicked off. It looks like the file was saved, so we'll try to start back up where we left off there. So it's not going to be compromised at all with how we're adding on to the back end. So we discussed that in the last video, and I need to get back to doing what we're doing here. These talking sessions get to be long, and we just need to get to the action here. So we'll get the front sheets on here, then we'll build out the sides and the front, get the floor in there, and we'll get moving along here. Well, we've got the front sheet all tacked into place. And I ended up ordering some steel here yesterday for this flatbed that is next door. I've got one piece over in this building, and I've got the rest of it outside. So we've got a 4x8 sheet of diamond plate, 3/16 of an inch thick, for what we're going to add onto on this. And then the materials that are outside, I've got a couple of lengths of channel iron that are 40 feet long. Well, today is Thursday. We ended up having a delivery here on Monday, and that was the angle iron. We'll show you that here in a minute, but this is the 40-foot lengths here. We're going to push that inside, and we're going to start cutting it up, and then we've got some 24-foot lengths there. Now, if I had had some time, I could have had Klein cut that up in the lengths that we need it. That 40-foot stuff I need in 8-foot lengths. I didn't want to get 20-footers because I would have had 4-foot drops. So I ended up getting this delivered here on Monday, and I ordered this like almost 10 days ago. This is the angle iron for the slide rail system. And this was 40-foot lengths. I had them cut that. I can't remember if this is 26 or if it's 25, but I had them cut that, and then I had them cut the pieces of angle iron that need to go in between the two angles to fit over the hoist. They got to be, there should be 6 angles that are 29 7/8 of an inch long. One there, there. They must be stacked on top of each other or something here. But at any rate, that's what we have there. And if I had had 6 or 8 days, they would have cut that stuff up for me, but I needed that material ASAP. So what we're going to do is we're going to push that long stuff in here. I'm just going to cut it up and get it on a pallet so it's out of our way. Bring in that 24-foot long stuff, set that out of the way. Then we can go back to working on the box here. I want to get this all closed in today with the rest of the cab shield on there, and then I could start cutting them panels for the girls to weld in between the posts there. All right, we have those two 40-foot lengths of 4-inch channel iron and 12-inch junior channel. This material here I used for that panel that's on the back that we have the tail lights in. That's an 8-foot piece. The first piece I bought this year was a 20-foot length, and I had 4 foot left over, and the thinking was I'll get another 20-foot length, cut 2 more out of it, have another 4-foot length left over, weld the two together, grind the weld down, you'd never know the difference. That's because I didn't want to deal with a 40-foot length of this stuff to have to cut down, but as you can see, it's not that bad to actually cut it. I don't know how long it took me, maybe a half hour, but this metal cutting saw is an animal. Now this is the second one. I have 2 of these, and the other one is actually getting worked on right now. I've had it 3 years, the first one I bought, and it's just right at the point where I'm not sure if they're gonna replace it or not, but that has cut a lot of material, and so far so has this one. It's a lot quicker to grab that than it is to pull out the plasma cutter, and then when you get done with the plasma cutter, you've got to, you have to grind your cut down a little bit. This 4-inch material we could have put in the saw, but it would have been a mongrel too. We'd have to move the bench and pick that 40-foot length of stuff up, support it in several places down through the whole length of it to get it to come back through the saw. So we're going to get back on the front end there. Sarah went over and grabbed something to eat for breakfast here, and Amazon dropped her off a leather Tillman knee pad. No name in the box. A welding supply? Yeah, but that's probably the store, whoever.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't from Amazon.
Oh, it wasn't from Amazon, it was from a welding store. Okay. So, what do you say to whoever sent that?
Thank you very much.
Now, I would appreciate it if anybody, well, we appreciate anything you send us, but put your name in there so that we could give you recognition for the gifts that you have sent here. It's not that hard to find our address. And Alex wouldn't mind getting some stuff bought for her as well, right? No? No? You'd like a new welder or something, wouldn't you? Alex has taken over the 260 welder, and Sarah is very sharing with it wasn't Sarah's welder anyways, but I bought it as an extra welder, and now Sarah has taken over the 350. Now these welders are like pickup trucks. This here's the 3/4 ton model. It's a 260, but it's a 250. And then the old 350, that right there is the 1 ton. The 1 ton model, you know. Most guys like the little 3/4 ton, and then some of the smaller outfits use the half-ton version. I'm just kidding. But now this has been, I know some of you have wanted us to do somewhat of an evaluation of these welders. The one downfall with the 350 welder, the gun is a lot heavier. All right, for whatever reason, the camera thought it had videoed long enough, so I hope that saved that clip. But for whatever, well, that 350 gun there, the 350 welder has a bigger gun, and when you're welding on a ladder and that gun is hanging down 8-9 feet, it's a lot to hold on to, whereas this 260 welder's got the smaller gun and it's easier to hold on to. But which welder do you like better?
It depends. I like that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
That one's too light.
That's nice about this gun. It's nice and light. This is a, you know, they call it the Magnum 2. Yeah, they call it the Magnum 250. They have had this gun for, I bet you that gun now is 15 years old. Just an excellent gun. You can run the heavier wire with the 350. Not that we get into doing any of the real heavy duty welding. We jumped down a wire size just to try it out. We're using an 030 wire. We had to change the drive wheels, and both welders, and I don't know as if I like the 030 wire any better than the 035. Welding this 12 gauge, I thought we'd get a prettier weld, but I don't think that's gonna be the case. 045, I've run that, a fair amount of that, but I feel that it leaves a different weld puddle, and I don't like that as much. The 035, I think, is the best wire choice. We use about 3 rolls, right around 120 to 125 pounds of wire welding one of these bodies, and we go through about 4 bottles of about 1,200 cubic foot of MIG welding gas. So we better keep at her. So these guys are jumping around. She's made the whole length here. Sarah's made the whole length on that other side. Now they're gonna go back through so that we don't get an elliptical side. You don't want it rounded. You want to make sure that you don't have any warpage, and if you were to weld top to bottom, you would actually have this body, it would be shaped like that. So we've got to be careful so as we don't warp anything. Had a comment that somebody said I love to talk, so this segment's about 8 minutes long now, and we better get back to filming and welding. Well, we've got this front end, the cab shield all closed in. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start cutting the panels, the angled panels that go on the side. Sarah's got this side done, and Alex is still working on this other side here. She's got, boy, just a little bit left, not much. I ended up replacing the liner and this gun assembly on this older 255. Then I also put a new trigger on it. And I don't know what we had going on with this, but this has been working flawlessly for the better part of the day here. We still have not done any welding on these sills yet. We've been concentrating on trying to get that cab shield closed in. Now that that's done and the girls need more things to weld here, I've got to start doing them panels so they can stay on that. They might have to come over on this and do some welding for a while until I get caught up. They're just doing some maintenance on the old vac truck here. We got a mirror that needs fixed on it. And Jared has rolled this 4620 ahead, and he's tore out the PTO shaft on it. It was leaking. So he resealed, got a new seal, new bearing, and then he's got to put that all back together. He's also working on the steering cylinders. They were leaking. Got to send them out, get rebuilt. So he's got the steering mechanism, the steering cylinders and the tie rods removed here. But we need to take those out to New Way and get those fixed. And to the best of my knowledge, he's got the steering valve all in there. You can see the wheel is on there now. And we just need to get them steering cylinders back here. So they got to figure out what this needs for a mirror. This bottom piece is broke here, and I don't know if we can shove a rivet back in there or not. But they're going to try to get that fixed, and that's going to, I think, about do it for this video here. I think we got enough content into it without making this overly long, but it looks quite a bit different with a big old cab shield on there. 5 foot, 20 inches deep in the back, 19 inches up front. So we'll keep at her here, and we will catch you at the next one, folks. Thanks for watching, and we're gonna keep at it here.